Okay, we're going to do two examples from page 6 of our foldable, and I've already factored these, so pause the video and you can factor these really quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at what we cancel out. So here we're going to cancel these two. And this leaves x plus 3. So I know that my graph is going to look like the line x plus 3. And it's going to have a hole at 1. To find my other part of the hole, I plug it in here. So f at 1 equals 1 plus 3 is 4. So that tells me my hole is at 1 and 4. 1 and 4. There's my hole. I know the graph goes through 3, and I know it has a slope of 1, so I know it's going to look like this. And then let's just finish filling in these. My x-intercept is where y equals 0. So if I put in a 0 for y, I've got 0 equals x plus 3. So x equals negative 3. So my x-intercept is at negative 3 and 0. My y-intercept is where x equals 0. So I'm going to plug that in for x is 0. So I have y equals, plug in 0 for x, 0 plus 3, y is 3. And look what we found. 0, 3 is my y-intercept, and negative 3 is my x-intercept, so those are in the right places. This one has no vertical asymptotes because there's nothing left in the bottom after I cancel. And this one has no horizontal asymptotes because once I canceled, there was nothing left there. I'm sorry, on the horizontal asymptotes, it was bigger on top. This was a bottom. Bigger on top because there's a squared there, 1 on bottom. So there's no horizontal asymptotes. Remember that from over here. On the bottom, there's no horizontal asymptotes. All right, and then I have one more for you here. All right, here it is. We're once again going to cancel the x minus 4. So our hole is at 4. And I'm going to plug in, here's what we have left. I'm going to plug in 4 here to find the other number. So when I plug in a 4 here, I get 1 over 6. So that's my other part of my hole. My x-intercept is where y equals 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 for y. And I'm going to plug it in right here. And when I do that, the bottom doesn't matter. It's just the top part that's going to make a difference here. So I can just ignore the bottom part. So we have 0 equals x minus 4. So x equals 4. But we know there was a hole at 4. Right here we found there was a hole at 4. So there's no x-intercept because that's where our hole is going to be. Our y-intercept is where x equals 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 for all of my things, for all of my x's here. So I have 0, negative 4, 0, 0, negative 8, and I get 1/2. So this is at 0 and 1/2. Our vertical asymptote is the one we did not cross out. This is our vertical asymptote. So our vertical asymptote is at x equals negative 2. And our horizontal asymptote, it's bigger on the bottom. And if it's bigger on the bottom, that means the asymptote is at y equals 0. So I'm going to graph in with my highlighter my two asymptotes. The horizontal asymptote is at 0, right here. My vertical asymptote is at negative 2. And remember, do this in a different color or dash it so that we can make sure we remember it's not part of the actual graph. And I know I have a hole at 0 and 1/6, so that's at, 4 and 1/6, so it's just right there. And I know I have a y-intercept at 1/2, so 0 and 1/2 right here. And that means that it's got to be going up on this side, and it's got to be going like this on this side. Now to decide if it's on this part here or if it's down here, I can pick a number and then find out if it's going to be above or below. So let's pick negative 3 and plug it in up here. And I just care about here because it's going to be either a positive number that's going to put it up here, going toward these, or it's going to be a negative going down here. So I really only care about the sign, whether it's positive or negative. So I'm going to plug in a negative 3. Negative 3 minus 4, well, that's negative 7. Negative 3 squared, that's 9. Negative 2 times negative 3 is plus 6 minus 8. Well, this is going to be positive 15, positive 7. So this is a negative 1. So I've just found another point on my graph is negative 3 and 1, and negative 1. Negative 3 and negative 1 right there, which tells me that this part of the graph is down here. If I got a positive number, I would know it was up there. So these graphs can be on either side. You just have to plug in one point to see where it's going to be.